back, legends. I hope you're all fantastic. Today, we're going to check out the VHmicro from Diezel amplifiers, and we're going to make some absolutely filthy guitar noises with this. This video is going to be a little bit of I won't say a departure, it's just going to be a slightly different style that I've been playing around with, where you're about to hear a track, then I'm going to break down some of the isolated tracks in here. If you want to know about the exact signal chain I use with this, it's going to be in the video description. But for now, let's make some noise. Settings that I use for the main doubles on the rhythm guitars there. I've got the treble at around 1 o'clock, the mids around 3 o'clock. Hardly any bass on this. I've got the bass just around 9 o'clock, but I've kind of made up for that with the deep control, which is pretty powerful on here. So the deep's at noon, presence is at about 1 o'clock. What I'll do is just give you a quick example of that, and then I'll pull the deep control out just so you can hear what that is doing to just kind of add girth to the sound. Similarly, I'll pull the presence down. The presence is really adding the kind of bite that's required for that sort of track. Where do I have it? 1 o'clock, take it down to 0, and then I'll bring it back up to 1. So there's an insane amount of gain on this. I feel like I don't really need to push the gain anywhere past about like 11 o'clock for rhythm guitar stuff. And this is all unboosted as well. Let's hear what I played in the track with those settings, isolated, and then you'll hear the double. Got the treble and the presence cranked all the way up. I've pulled the mid-range down. I've got the bass at about noon, and the depth is at about 10 o'clock. Basically, I'm going for more of like a kind of fizzy rectifier style thing here. And on its own, this tone is pretty disgusting. It's definitely what I would consider a high gain character tone. But when you blend it in about 6 to 9 dB lower than the main track, that's where you get that just gargantuan quad track thing. So this is the sound I use for the second set of doubles. I'll play around with it and play some different stuff. Then we'll hear the actual track isolated. Now, of course, I've got plenty of room to play with the mids. I could pump them right up with this sort of sound. I thought because the other set of doubles had more of a mid-range thing going on, I would just bring the mids out. It's like auto EQ. You don't have to use a channel strip or anything like that. But with these settings, so with the treble and the presence cranked and the mids cranked, now, I could tame that with the presence control and kind of bring that back down to noon. It's going to lose some of that kind of fizz. Which is getting more towards what I would use for the lead sound. But let's just hear what I actually played with that tone we started with. You'll hear a single track down the middle, and then you'll hear the double isolated. Now let's hear it all together. You'll hear the main rhythm guitar tracks doubled. Then I am going to bring in the second kind of fizzier recto style settings, and then we'll add the rest of the track. Go, let's hear it with my Strat. I'm also running out of the FX-Send straight into my Apollo Twin interface. I'm then going to be using 2 Notes Wall of Sound for some basic power amp emulation, and I've got my favorite greenback IR loaded up. It's linked in the video description if you want to try this same IR. Added a little bit of SOUNDTOYS, little plate reverb in post as well. This is a great way to run all of these mini heads. If you've seen my Ecstasy video, I did the same thing, and I got some tones which I think measured up pretty well compared to the tones with the cab. I've got the gain really, really low, and it's still super crunchy on this. Let's see. I'm going to guess if I get the gain all the way up. I haven't tried it yet. It's kind of going to get fuzzy, especially on the neck pickup, but let's see a bridge pickup. And hopefully you can kind of see the settings there. I've got the mid-range cranked up. The depth is at about noon. Bass is dialed back a little bit from noon. Presence and treble are at about 1 o'clock. Let me know what you thought about the tones from this thing in the comment section below. Much like the Mini Ecstasy, it's really, really cute, and I think a lot of people are going to look at this and maybe think that it's a novelty, but it is very, very usable. If you didn't like the tones I got out of the Ecstasy, I personally love the sounds I got out of that, but you just want something that you can kind of plug into and make absolutely filthy guitar noises. Notice that I didn't use a boost on any of those. It was just guitar straight into the head, straight into a cab for a lot of that. You can definitely do it with this thing. And I guess if anything, this video just kind of demonstrates that you don't need a total flotilla of 100-watt tube heads to get convincing recorded guitar tones, as long as you kind of know what you want to do. And especially if you quad track, because quad tracking is awesome. And using, I guess, tones that are complementary. You know, we had more of a mid-focused tone for the main guitars and then more of a mid-scooped fizzy thing for the guitars that were reinforcing everything on there. And of course, you know, when you're going for lead tones, gain is good. Anyway, let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Again, thank you to Stefan and the whole team at Boutique Amps Distribution for getting one of these out to me to demo for all of you. If you want to support the channel, there are links in the video description. Hope you all have a fantastic day. Thanks for watching.